IPFW may have fell short from the making of NCAA tournament, but nonetheless, there are still plenty of excitement around here. On a special Mastodon Minutes Bracketology segment, I'm Josh Van Cleve, alongside with Nick Lawrence and Tim Zink. All right, boys, let's get started here. Let's start with the East region. Who do you guys got advancing and why?
East region, I have Ohio State advancing all the way to the Final Four. North Carolina as well, right there in the Elite Eight.
All right, guys, this is gold. I have Ohio State here. They are a strong team. I have them advancing into the finals. They have a strong team led by, well, Deshaun Thomas is on that team, Fort Wayne native and everything. But I also think a team to look out for is North Carolina. After a one-year hiatus, they're rebuilding. They're better than expected. But also in the bracket, we have a local in-state team, Indiana State. They're going up against Syracuse. They had a tough 5-game losing streak earlier this year, but I think they bounced back just in time for the tournament, but I don't think they'll be able to turn it against Syracuse.
That's going to be a tough game of Syracuse and Indiana State. I think I picked Syracuse advancing on. Now, Ohio State. You guys have Ohio State going all the way to the championship game. I, on the other hand, don't. I'm not a big Ohio State fan. I don't know if you already know that or not, but that's here nor there. But I have North Carolina beating them in the Elite Eight. All right, let's move on to the West region. What do you guys got?
I got the Blue Devils, Duke going all the way to the Final Four. Connecticut and San Diego State, though, two teams to watch out for.
That's very true.
I have Connecticut prevailing, though. Tim, the man with the numbers.
I'm kind of like you. I have Duke. They're not going to have any problem reaching the Elite Eight.
Coach K has got him taught up right. He's going to advance them on, I think.
Good team.
Yes. And also Connecticut, I think they're bouncing back. They're led by Kemba Walker's 23.4 points per game. So they're going to be dangerous, and he's definitely going to the NBA next year, one of the few prospects in this year's draft.
I agree.
But also San Diego State. I mean, I know VC over here is a big fan.
I am. I'm rooting him on.
He's got him going all the way.
I haven't quite drank the Kool-Aid yet.
Well, Tim, just wait and see what happens. You'll be a believer soon enough. All right, so like you guys, I got Duke going all the way to the Elite Eight, along with San Diego State. I have Connecticut going on, but San Diego State beats Connecticut in Sweet 16. All right, we go from the West. Let's go to the Southeast this time. All right, Nick, what do you got?
Southeast, number 1 seed, Pittsburgh, looking pretty strong. I have them going all the way, but Florida's going to stop them there. I think Florida's going to go all the way to the national championship.
I don't know about that one.
I'm seeing another rematch of the 2007 national championship. This time, Buckeyes, the Big Ten champs this year, going on top.
I think in the Southeast region, I think Pittsburgh, there's going to be a lot of happy steel makers out there. I mean, they're looking strong. They look strong against UNCA in the first round. They're led by Ashton Gibbs, 17 points per game. Yeah. They're 8th in the nation in rebounds, 4th in assists, and they should have no problem with Butler in the second round.
That's true.
I also think there's going to be a tough match between BYU and Florida, but I think Florida will prevail, even though BYU has Jimmer Fredette's 28.5 points per game, but I think them coming from a weak conference, I think that's going to work against them.
All right, I will have to agree with you on the Pittsburgh. The Florida thing, not so much. I got Pittsburgh over Butler, which Butler had a good game against Old Dominion. Then I got Wisconsin going on to face Pittsburgh. Then I have Pittsburgh advancing on to the championship game. Like I said, I got the BYU taking over Florida. And then if we're going from the Southeast, let's go to the Southwest. Nick, what do you got?
Southwest, again, number 1 seed. I think Kansas is going to go pretty far. Purdue, I have Purdue and Kansas facing off, and Purdue and Notre Dame, the game to watch, the game everyone's watching.
That's going to be a good game.
I lost sleep over that. I went with Purdue. What do you got, Tim, on that one?
All right. Well, I think Kansas is going to have an easy road to the Elite Eight now, especially with Vanderbilt and Louisville both losing in the first round.
Yeah.
But I think
big upsets.
Everybody in this state, the big game that everybody wants to see is Purdue and Notre Dame. It should be pretty good. Purdue's led by Big Ten Player of the Year, Juwan Johnson, and E'Twaun Moore. I think they'll be able to have the firepower to compete with Notre Dame's Ben Hansbrough, but I think Notre Dame will be able to beat them.
I have to agree with you on that one, Tim. I think you're right with that. Ben Hansbrough will take him over and beat Purdue. Now Louisville, that was a huge upset against
Huge upset. That was almost a bracket buster for me right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I had Kansas over Louisville, and Kansas going on to the Final Four. Speaking of Final Fours, what do you guys got?
Final Four recap, I got Ohio State versus Duke, Kansas versus Florida. Tim?
All right, I have Ohio State versus Duke as well, and Notre Dame versus Pittsburgh.
I got Kansas versus Pittsburgh, and North Carolina versus San Diego State. Of course, both of you guys know I got San Diego State going to the championship game with Pittsburgh, but I have Pittsburgh prevailing over the top of that championship game. So you guys feel you guys have a pretty good bracket?
I think I got a good bracket. San Diego State, that's a team to watch out for. Ohio State and Florida in the final game. That's what I'm thinking. Tim, what do you have?
I'm thinking Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I mean, you're fighting Irish, but you don't even have them going there. But I have Ohio State winning.
All right, boys. Right now, Nick, you're leading in the pool right now, but we'll see how things change after today's games.